What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some key details of the Pokemon Legends ZA box art. We just got the release date, and I'm going to talk about all of the confirmed Pokemon coming to ZA now. We got a couple of new ones and some awesome pre-order information. Of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining the Pan Fam by that join channel member button below. So if you didn't see it, here is our box art for Pokemon Legends ZA, and I do actually think it is really high quality box art. I really appreciate that it's showing off the city at night, that we are fighting Mega Pokemon. It features both of the protagonists and our starter Pokemon. However, it does not actually feature Zygarde, which I do think is really hilarious that Zygarde gets his own game, but he gets snubbed from his own box art. Now, here's actually the full art for it, and we talked about this in the previous video, going through some of the details of this, but overall, I think this is very gorgeous art. I think this is awesome key art, and it really just shows off the full experience of Pokemon Legends ZA. And I do appreciate that to show off a lot of Mega Pokemon battling. However, there is no new Megas on this image. Hell, there's no new Pokemon outside a couple that are now confirmed. We'll go over that in a moment. So as I mentioned, yes, Zygarde is featured on that art in the bottom right-hand corner. He is lurking at us, behind us in battle. Seems like Zygarde will probably be an early Pokemon, and he'll probably be a companion that will be hanging out with us for most of the game, leading up to hopefully some sort of finale with Zygarde at 100% form. But it seems like Zygarde will be watching us at the very least from the start. Once again, I do think it's funny that he's just not featured on his own game's box art at all, but a little bit off in the corner. Now, I didn't realize this when I first looked at the box art, but you've been challenged by the detective, that Pory Leak says. And looking at the character that we are battling, who has the Mega Lucario, that is 100% an adult Emma from Pokemon XY. Now, if you don't know who Emma is, this is what she looked like in Pokemon XY. She was Looker's assistant, who is the detective from Pokemon X and Y. And essentially, she has a major story element where she gets, she's like an orphan, she gets adopted, and then she gets pretty much abducted by Team Flare in a way, and she gets to put on a special suit. Now, this is what she looks like in the anime. Much better looking than the actual sprite for sure. And then, she wears this suit in Pokemon XY. At least the Team Flare forces her to wear this, where she gets like super strength and things like that. But it actually looks like that she is wearing that suit right now in the box art under her detective jacket. She is in this Xerxic suit, which is pretty interesting. Doesn't have the helmet on though. You can definitely see the same stuff going on here. So I think that's really interesting. That's definitely a secret plot element that they just threw up on the box art. Maybe she'll be a detective and help us figure out what is going on and why the Pokemon are battling each other. But also maybe she will have some sort of actual part where she's like running on rooftops and doing like superhero type of stuff, because she is wearing this suit that is giving her those powers. Now, speaking of the box art, there's another secret. Now, I talked about this in the previous video, but I didn't realize there was another person. I just sort of noticed what looked like Vinny in the background, sort of like a much more bulky Vinny, but I did not realize that we also have the woman here, Jet. Now, if you don't know who these people are, Jet is the CEO of Quasicor, which is the large corporation driving Lumoy's urban redevelopment plan with the aim of shaping the city into one that belongs to both people and Pokemon. It seems she hopes to deepen the bonds between people and Pokemon. Now, she is a CEO, which means she is probably an evil person. So, and honestly, this box art is not doing her any favors. I do think she is going to be our main antagonist here. And then Vinny, this honestly does look like Vinny on the box art as well. I mean, he's pretty bulky looking. And, that probably is him. You can see like something going on with the hair, and that definitely looks like his Cham up on his hair. Now, Vinny is a busy man with an imposing physique and reputation for being a fast worker. Vinny regularly sports sunglasses and works for Quasicor as Jet's secretary. So he's going to be the right-hand man here. Now, another secret that this box art has is we get confirmation that Shuppet is in the game, which means a Baitnet is also going to be in the game, which means Mega Baitnet is gonna be in the game. So that is a massive one for our Mega Baitnet fans out here. We get confirmation that your Pokemon is also in it. Plus, I wasn't actually sure, because when we look on the box art here, I wasn't sure if Scyther was confirmed before or if Scizor was in it, but we do get confirmation of Mega Scizor now. Now, all the Pokemon that are currently in the game, including the Megas, we can see a nice list of them right down here. But Gen 1 has a lot of great representation overall. A lot of the Gen 1 Megas are in it at the moment. Even though we haven't seen Mega Pidgeot, I'm going to assume since Pidgeot is in the game, is a game about Megas, we are going to be getting Mega Pidgeot. This is just confirming based on if we've actually seen the Mega within any of the artwork or within the gameplay of the game at the moment. But yes, a lot of great confirmations right here for sure. And honestly, Generation 1 got a lot of great reps. Gen 2 had a lot of good representation. Pretty much all the Megas for Gen 2 is making it in for the most part. Now Generation 3 is getting those representations in here as well. Before was really just a couple of Pokemon, but now we got a lot of good ones. Gen 4 is a little bit on the lighter side overall. Gen 5 doing pretty decent so far. And we are getting the monkeys, so there we go. Gen 6, of course, we're probably getting the entire Generation 6 Kalos decks in here. Makes a lot of sense. This is in Kalos. Why would they not have these Kalos Pokemon in it? Now, the release date is October 16th, 2025. And here's some great news. In addition to the Nintendo Switch title, Pokemon Legends ZA, the Nintendo Switch 2 Pokemon Legends ZA Nintendo Switch 2 Edition will also be available. With the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, you can enjoy improved graphics and frame rate. So essentially, better resolution and better frame rate. Now, it's the exciting part. If you own a Nintendo Switch title Pokemon Legends ZA, you can upgrade it to the Switch 2 Edition by purchasing an upgrade pack. Whether you own the digital version or the physical version of the software, the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition will also be playable on the Nintendo Switch system. When playing the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition on the Nintendo Switch, the contents will be the same of the Nintendo Switch software. Additional content that utilizes the specs of the Switch 2 will not be included. So, yes, you can buy the Switch 2 version and put it in your Switch 1 and still play it. That is awesome confirmation. I am so glad to hear that. That is really sick. So I'll probably just end up buying the Switch 2 Edition. And if I need to play it on the Switch 1, then I can do that. I probably won't have to, but it's nice to have that. And now about the upgrade pack. Pokemon Legends ZA will cost $60 for both the physical and digital editions for Nintendo Switch. And $69.99, so $70 for the Switch 2 Edition. So a $10 upgrade pack. So if you do have a Switch 1, you get a Switch 2 down the line, and you want to play in your Switch 2 and get those improved graphics and everything, frame rate, you pay $10. You can do that. So that is really cool. Now, a couple of pre-order information and cool promos in general right now. There is a really cool Europe and UK only Pokemon Legends ZA bundle. So you buy the game and you get this really sick Pokemon partner figurine. I really wish this was offered in the US because I would absolutely want this figurine. This is such a nice figurine with the 3 starters on a Pokeball. That's really cool. And then they're also doing a bundle where you can get a Mega Charizard and Mega Charizard X or Y figure with a cap, a mug set, a pin, and an umbrella. We don't know what the cost of this is, but you can actually go on store.nintendo.co.uk, and I believe you can also do it on the European versions as well. And you can see this bundle. You can sign up for it by registering your interest and all that fun stuff. Unfortunately, this is not on the US store, so I will not be able to get this really cool statue, but hey, maybe somehow I'll get one of these statues myself. I do want to mention they released all this really cool Mega Evolution art for the Megas that we already know in the game. And this is actually going alongside a certain product line right here. And you can actually get this art. If you really like this art, you can get it today at the Pokemon Center. If you use this code at checkout, MegaCardUS, I think this is probably only for the US, you can get these cards at purchase from the Pokemon Center. I don't know if there's only one card or you get the full set. It might just be a random card. We'll have to see. But hey, if you want to buy something at the Pokemon Center and get these cards, you can, which is really neat. And they are doing a new Mega Evolution plushie line right over here. So I'm not going to lie, that Mega Charizard X is something I might be picking up myself. My girlfriend will probably really like the Mega Altaria. So really cool Megas right there. But there we have it. That is all the information we learned today from the Pokemon Legends ZA release date information. We are getting a Pokemon Presents on July 22nd, so I will be covering that on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for all things Pokemon and other things video game. Anyways, guys, peace out and have a good one.